The Foo Fighters are back after facing a tragedy last year when their drummer, Taylor Hawkins, died suddenly on March 25th, 2022. I remember this, they just had released their horror movie called Studio 666, and after that they released the soundtrack to a movie called Dream Widow, which was based on a fictional band of the aforementioned movie. I remember this very well because I reviewed that album on a Friday night, and I heard the news of Taylor's passing the next morning, which is why I didn't actually mention Taylor when I reviewed said album. But after that, we didn't hear from them for a while, and then they made an announcement that they were still together. Shortly after, they announced a new album and they released a few singles, so let's talk about it now. But here we are is the 11th studio album by the Foo Fighters, released on June 2nd, 2023. This is the follow-up to Medicine at Midnight. This one came out in 2021, and it's the first studio album since the death of Taylor Hawkins in March 2022. Now, Dave Grohl, he did all of the drums in his absence, and the album was produced by Greg Kurstin and the band itself. The album has been described as explosive, emotional, inspired by the New York Times, and they released 4 singles, which will be Rescued, Under You, Show Me How, and The Teacher. So all of the lyrics in the album deal with grief and loss. For example, in Rescued, they would say things like, is this happening now? I can't believe it's true. I don't know what to do. And the song Under You, there are times that I need somebody. There are times that I feel like no one. There are times when I can't breathe. So when you listen to these lyrics, you're going to notice that they are like very heartfelt, and I'll be talking about that throughout the video. Taylor Hawkins died on March 25th, 2022 in Bogota, Colombia. He was supposed to perform with the Foo Fighters at a music festival. The official cause of death was cardiac arrest. A toxicology report showed that he had opioids, marijuana, and other drugs in his system before he died. It was unclear if these drugs contributed to his death or not, but he was only 50 years old. It was a very sad loss because it was very sudden. It was something that nobody expected. The critics mostly gave it praise. I'll read a few examples. NPR said, but it's hard to miss, and it would be malpractice not to point out the consistent ferocity and focus on display in But Here We Are. Grohl clearly understands that we honor departed loved ones by building new joys with which they were here around to share. And The Guardian said, it makes no bones about being a musical act of mourning, opening with Grohl reeling from hearing of his best friend's passing and ending with him singing, Rest, You Will Be Safe Now. Every song in between is about death, alternately poleaxed by grief, temporarily overwhelmed by memories, or resolving. Let's talk about the songs. The opening track is called Rescued. It's about finding hope and strength in the aftermath of losing a loved one. It's a stripped down song with a clean and distorted guitar tone, some energetic punk rock strumming, a classic Foo Fighters hooks, kind of going back to their grunge roots a little bit, and Dave Grohl has both melodic and the screaming vocals. Under You is about relying on somebody who is always there for you no matter what. This had more of that 90s sound with the color and the shape. It's an upbeat song with grungy undertones and has a classic alternative rock sound. Hearing Voices about missing someone who is no longer around. This is more of an emotional tone. The lyrics are heartfelt. They play arpeggiated chords, creates this atmosphere of sadness and grief. I like the softer part at the end of this song. But Here We Are is a song about facing the reality of death and accepting the inevitable. It had more of a modern sound. This one had more of one of the more radio-friendly songs on the album, had more of a bouncy rhythm. The Glass is about feeling fragile and broken, but also resilient and strong. It's a softer track with clean guitars and emotional performance by Dave Grohl. They bring in some heavier guitars later during the chorus and bringing back that classic heavy and light sound, and the lyrics are very heartfelt. Nothing at all is about having nothing left to lose and living in the moment. More of an upbeat track. Would have sounded good in their previous album. This one here had more of that kind of sound. Show Me How about asking for guidance and support to overcome challenges and heal wounds. Another song that starts off slow, picks up with some cool melodies. Song that brings back their classic sound. Dave sings in a softer tone, and they have some female backing singers. Beyond Me is about realizing that there are things in life that are bigger and more important than oneself. A soft song with lots of emotion. It has that classic Foo Fighters sound with guitar chords played with light distortion. Another one that balances the light and heavy, and the guitar solo was very good. The Teacher is a song dedicated to Grohl's late mother, Virginia. She was a teacher. She was a huge influence on his life and music. She actually passed away in 2022 as well. So it is probably more apparent than this song is more about his mother than Taylor, but it could also be about Taylor as well. But it's a 10-minute song. It was one of the singles. Brings back some like grunge sound from the 90s, has some orchestration, has some heavier parts, more reminiscent of like the first album. I think this is actually my favorite song on the album. I think it just has everything that this band is about. It doesn't feel like a long song. It has different changes, the tempo and the tone, but it has this consistent melody. So I think like this is like their like great song. And the final song, Rest. This is their most emotional song. It's a farewell and a tribute to Taylor Hawkins, wishing him peace and comfort in the afterlife. It's stripped down, it's emotional, the vocals and acoustic guitar in the first half, then they have some more like fuzzy and distorted guitars in the second half. Just a very emotional song to close out the album. So I definitely thought this was a great comeback album. I mean, like everything is just very emotional, very heartfelt. It just sounds like the Foo Fighters. It's kind of like, almost like a greatest hits type of album because it just has that classic sound. It's not really a heavy album. It's more of like a laid back type of album, but it still has the guitars, it has the hooks, has everything you want. It's, very, like I keep saying, emotional and heartfelt. It's a type of song or type of album you listen to and just like, pay attention to the lyrics and you could feel everything that they're feeling. I think this might be one of their best albums in a long time. It's definitely better than the last few that came out. I'm giving this a high score, a 9 out of 10. I thought it was very good. I think like down the line, this would be one of their albums that was remembered the most. So let me know in the comments what you thought. Please like this video. It helps me with the algorithm. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I will link a video, my 2 reviews of The Dream Widow and Medicine at Midnight. So if you want to watch either of those, you can do that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.